Hello wildflowers, and welcome back to the Rambling Rose. I guess you could say that I'm the Rambling Rose, a free spirit going and growing wherever I please. Rose is one of my Fae names, and perhaps it was given to me because, like the rose, I thrive in a sunny position. I refuse to stop blooming, even after some of life's harshest prunings, and I'm terribly old-fashioned and a romantic at heart. I'm an Australian artist, author and cottage witch, and in this series I invite you to join me in my little art loft, kitchen, garden and local forest to conjure up some creative magic and make life just a little bit more enchanted. And I think we all need that in times like these, don't you? In this episode, we'll be celebrating Ostara by baking up some scrumptious lemon and thyme tea cakes and a sweet violet lemonade made with magical herbs and edible flowers from my garden. We'll also be trying our hand at one of my favourite crafts for this Sabbath, pretty painted eggs in a traditional floral folk style. So sit back, relax and enjoy this little film I've made for you, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Here in the Southern Hemisphere, we celebrate the pagan Sabbath Ostara, otherwise known as the Spring Equinox, on or around September 21st, while our friends in the north are celebrating Marbon. The turning of the wheel of the year has been recognised by rural agrarian people for centuries, so it is not just witches and fairies who celebrate these special days, but farmers and gardeners and anyone who simply loves being in nature. And, of course, the plants and animals. Perhaps it could be said that they celebrate more than anyone, especially when it comes to Ostara. I see daffodils nodding their heads as if wearing ruffled Elizabethan collars of pure sunshine, masses of pink cherry blossoms, blue hyacinth, fluffy camellia, and the scent of sweet magnolia on the breeze. Moving from the city to lead a slower, simpler life in the countryside and settling in this place with a Victorian-esque climate, I have fallen in love with the changing seasons and felt more connected than ever to the earth and her magical rhythms and cycles. The pagan festivals and their crafty, colourful rituals captured my imagination, and I feel like this is what led me to the Green Witch path. If nothing else, celebrating the changes we see in our gardens every 6 weeks or so is just a fun way to make life more enchanted. And I just love any excuse to bake, craft and celebrate, and let my inner child enjoy some whimsy and wonder. So this year, I decided on a beautiful picnic among the blossom trees, fancying myself like Anne of Green Gables, just revelling in the spring sunshine. She would always say, it provides so much scope for the imagination. And that's what this channel is all about. So, little wildflowers, let's gather some ingredients, shall we? For our tea cakes, I promised a magical herb, and thyme is just that. With its miniature leaves and tiny purple flowers, it is beloved by fairies and is used in spells for protection, courage, and attracting good fortune. Violets are used in charms to bring tranquility, and combined with lavender in a herbal pillow will aid sleep and calm nightmares. It is also fabled that the scent of violets in the air is a sign that the fae folk are near. This pretty flower is also associated with fertility and abundance, which is perfect for Ostara. Lemons symbolise solar energy and can be added to moon water, dried and placed on your altar, in ritual baths, and so much other kitchen witchery to bring joy, happiness and fulfillment. The perfect way to add some cheer to our Ostara picnic, don't you think? It probably wasn't necessary to grease these silicone cake molds, but I thought just in case I would add a little vegan butter. The scent of these lemons was absolutely divine, and I think I absorbed a little bit of their sunshiny magic while I was cooking. I measured out 1 cup of sugar and added it to the zest of 2 lemons. Next, it was time to add the thyme. Don't fret, little wildflowers, if I miss something, because I will add this recipe to my blog and I'll leave a link below. It's really quite fun mixing together the sugar, the lemon zest and the thyme, because if you do, it releases all of the oils from the lemon and from the thyme, and it makes for a delicious sugar. You'll want to cream the sugar mixture with a cup of melted butter or alternative of your choice, and then add 2 eggs. I'd highly recommend using an electric mixer for this step, as it will ensure your cakes are nice and fluffy. I tried the old-fashioned method and I can't say I was super pleased with the results, but they were still really tasty and pretty, so I was happy in the end. I'm not a professional chef by any stretch of the imagination. I kind of just wing it and never really use the recipe. So there is another tip that I will share, and that is to sift the flour. The rest of the steps I think I managed. Squeezing lemons was really fun. So after adding the flour, baking soda and lemon juice, the next step is to add some yogurt to give the cakes a lovely tangy flavour. You can use coconut yogurt, but I was lucky enough to source some grass-fed goat yogurt from a little Airbnb where you can pat the goats. So adorable. Here I go, whisking by hand again, dreaming of a mint green KitchenAid. Perhaps I can offer the fairies one of these cakes, pop some of the thyme and a shard of citrine into a spell jar, and manifest my kitchen wish. What do you think? I used a piping bag to evenly spread the batter into the cake molds, and then, after smoothing off the edges a little, it was time to pop them in the oven. And now it's on to the violet lemonade. Ooh, this is the fun part. This kitchen witchery is really so simple, wildflowers. All you need to do is make 2 cups of violet tea by placing the flowers into your teapot, pouring over boiling water and adding some sweet raw honey. Then pop it in the fridge to cool down for a spell. When it is cooled, add the violet tea to a stoppered bottle, perfect for picnic baskets, and fill to the top with lemon juice. If the tea hasn't quite taken on the violet colour you desire, a couple of butterfly pea flowers will do the trick. Back in the garden, let's collect some pansies. These have been a source of so much joy for me over all of winter. They have been blooming so bright and so beautifully, and now I'm going to use them to decorate our cakes. Magically, pansies are used for divination, communication, happiness and love, and it's no surprise because they are just so beautiful. Don't you just think edible flowers are the most magical things ever? My inner child is pretty happy with this whole situation, and I know that the fairies will appreciate this little gift as well. Because of course I'm inviting the fairies along on my Ostara picnic. Much can be said about colour magic, and I always take note of this subtle language of plants and their correspondences. Purple, that we've seen in the violets and pansies, is the colour of intuition, dreams, magic and witchcraft. It's no surprise I have a lot of purple in my garden. Let's take a wander to find the perfect picnic spot under the blossom trees. The equinoxes are a time when light and dark, masculine and feminine are in perfect balance. They are a time to make plans for the months ahead, imagine the dreams you wish to manifest, and reflect on the growth of the past season. Over the next few weeks, I'll be planting seeds, spring cleaning, setting intentions, blessing my garden tools, digging new garden beds, and so forth. But for now, I think I'll just enjoy my picnic, lay down on this lovely patchwork quilt that my beautiful mum sewed by hand from a collection of my childhood dresses, and let my imagination wander. After that delightful interlude, it's time to start painting our Ostara eggs. The painted egg is the quintessential craft magic of Ostara, a symbol of rebirth, fertility, and life springing forth after winter. According to folk tradition, the golden orb of the yolk represents the sun god enfolded by the white goddess, perfect balance. The tradition of painting eggs at this time of year actually predates Christianity, with pagans painting motifs and sigils on eggs using natural botanical dyes. These eggs were then blessed and eaten or used for ritual purposes. But this little modern era witch will be using her trusty old dollar store gouache paints. They've served me so well, but after over 10 years as a professional artist, yesterday I ordered myself a nice set of quality paints, a little treat to make the creation of my new book more delightful. And I can't wait to play with all my new colours. Now, if you'd like to keep your eggs long after Ostara has passed, you can punch a small hole in the top and bottom with a sharp needle and use a straw to blow out the yolk. But I plan to bury these magical eggs in my vegetable garden the morning after Ostara as a way of blessing the coming harvest. While my eggs are drying, let's head out to the moon garden. I have just the thing to create an enchanted little fairy nest for these eggs. There are 4 eucalyptus logs around my fire pit. Well, actually it's a cauldron. They are slowly shedding layers of bark, and they have the most beautiful texture and a sort of crescent shape that should be perfect. Back in the studio, I'll use some hot glue to secure the eggs in place. The next thing I'll need is some moss. So on a recent forest walk, the fairies led me down a little path to a magnificent tree fern, and below it was this perfect mossy wand. Another thing I gathered from my moon garden earlier was some native Australian saltbush. I'm just going to tuck some little sprigs of this beautiful silver foliage in between the eggs. I think that looks pretty cute, don't you? I actually can't believe how utterly perfect this moss turned out. It's so cute. Just like with the recipe before, I was kind of winging it, so I'm pretty pleased with this result. For the finishing touch, a few tiny purple hyacinth flowers. And now, as the sun begins to set on this magical day, I will place this offering on my Ostara altar. Gentle breeze and falling rain, the time has come for life again. Daffodils, yellow-white, welcome back the growing light. Ostara, lady of the spring, what happiness and joy you bring. Ostara Blessing, sweet wildflowers. I so hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did and you want to see more, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm planning something really special for the next episode, something very magical and dear to my heart. You won't want to miss it. And don't forget to check out Patreon if you'd like some crafty downloads, oracle card readings, exclusive content, spells and more. This little rose will see you next time in a world of pure imagination.